just so I have it on camera, can you kind of tell me who you are and where you're from, and maybe just roll right into how you came to Kids Across America?
Yes. My name is Detodrick Pinkston. I'm from Forest, Mississippi. It's a small town centrally located in Mississippi. I came here with Forest Missionary Baptist Church in Forest, Mississippi. We're with Forest Baptist Ministry right now. This is my first year as a Kaleo. I've been here as a camper for 3 years, from the year of 2004 to 2007. And it's just been a great opportunity to come here. It's been a blessing, and I just want to continue to come and grow, and maybe later on in the future actually work camp.
Oh, okay. Now, how old are you?
I'm 24.
24? And well, tell me kind of what impact did camp make on you as you were coming here as a teenager?
As a teenager coming up, I was already a Christian, baptized. Being a member of Concord Missionary Baptist Church, which is in Forest, Mississippi. But before I got to camp, I didn't know anything about Christian rap. I wasn't open-minded. I was kind of shy, and I didn't like to talk to other people about God. And camp helped me out with that. It made me more open-minded, made me more of a people's person, to where I can communicate with people and not only talk to them about life, but also about God. And that's one thing camp helped me out with, and it broadened my view on different sports. Growing up, I only loved basketball, and as I got to camp, I started doing these different other activities in different sports. And I grew to love every sport, and it made it a challenge to a sport that I didn't know how to do or didn't know how to play. I was challenged to learn that sport. And that's one thing that this camp has done for me as a teenager and even growing up. Now I can talk to anybody about anything, and that's including God. And before I came to camp, I wasn't so outgoing about talking to anybody about God.
So you are a basketball champ back in your state, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, again, he kind of mentioned that your grandfather was also, or you had your grandfather?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about your role back home as a basketball coach. I don't know, just kind of tell me your family's history with the game of basketball.
Well, our whole family are very athletic. I had an uncle that played in the NFL for 7 years. He played for the Philadelphia Eagles. His name is Todd Pinkston. He played from the years of 2000 to 2007. My granddad played, my mother played, and actually growing up, I lost my mom. She passed away when I was 6 months old. My dad wasn't around, so my grandma kind of raised me, and my grandpa, who was my coach, he was my coach in high school. Those two kind of raised me and introduced me to sports. And basketball is something I fell in love with. I played high school ball, and as you stated, I was a state champion in the year of 2011, which was 4 years after I left camp, stopped coming, and went on to play college ball at Belhaven University, which is a private Christian school in Jackson, Mississippi. And they teach you the same standards, as far as KAA, how to introduce sports, your studies into Christ. And I graduated there, came back home to Forest, and I got the job that my granddad had as a head coach in Forest. Now going into my second year of coaching, it's been a blessing, especially in the state of Mississippi. It's not very many young coaches at the age of 24. The average range per coach is maybe 28, and I'm one of the very few at the age of 24 to have a coaching position in the same city that where I'm from. And also KAA has kind of helped me with my sports as well. That's why I chose Belhaven University, which is a Christian university, because KAA kind of molded Christ more into me. And so I wanted to find a college or university that does the same thing, that brings Christ into you and not only focus on academics and sports. And that's kind of how Belhaven molded me into doing that, and my family as well molded me to put God first and sports second.
Tell me, what's your your philosophy of coaching, or maybe what's your goal of coaching when you have those boys out on the court? We'll kind of wait for this to pass, but what are you trying to accomplish by teaching them the game of basketball?
First off, my main goal is to teach guys discipline. That's the main thing in life that I feel that every child should have. And if you're not getting it at home, you should have self-discipline within yourself. And that's the first thing I try to implement into my guys is you got to be disciplined in life. Even that's with your schoolwork, that's with basketball or reading your Bible. You got to have self-discipline and be motivated to want to do those things. And that is kind of the first thing I try to teach them is to be self-disciplined. Also, my next philosophy I try to get them to understand is that be a young adult, be young men in society. Don't just be considered as a guy that plays a sport or the guy that plays basketball. Be more than that. Be this guy that everybody think, oh, he's a Christian, great young man, stays out of trouble. So I try to implement them, into, be presentable. Whenever you go, everybody is watching you, so you got to conduct yourself in a way that you want somebody to come back to talk to you, saying you a good kid and things like that. Those are the main two, discipline and character. I try to preach into my kids, and it's been growing. Like I said, it's my second year, so it's going to get better this coming up year. And as I keep progressing later on in my coaching career, those will be the two main things that I want to focus on as a child, is have self-discipline. And that even comes with, outside of the game of basketball, it comes with life. Like I said, it's reading your Bible. You got to be self-disciplined to read your Bible every day, study the Word, and you have to be self-disciplined on the court. And that's what I'm trying to instill in my guys and into my program is self-discipline and character.
So you lost your mom when you were just 6 months old.
6 months old.
Wow, you really never knew her. Tell me about your grandfather. What were some of the things that he thought were important to raise you? What were some of his values that he really tried to put into you?
And the same thing as with my team. He taught me discipline. Whenever I did something wrong, he told me what I did wrong, and he told me how to correct it. And the things he's taught me over the years, I try to instill it into my players. He taught me, like I said, self-discipline, and to one day grow up to be a man and take responsibilities for your own actions. I was raised to he just never let me get away with nothing. And he stayed on me a lot, and I used to dislike it because I thought he was staying on me because he didn't like me. And as I got older, it started to mold in me that he sees something in me that I don't see in myself. So at that time, I didn't know, and as the years grown and I got older, I sit back and reflect that he loved me, he was only trying to help me, and he didn't dislike me. And he kind of instilled that in me and kind of molded in me that I have to discipline myself, as well. I have to take it as well. And he kind of brought that discipline into my life since my father wasn't around and I didn't have my mom. So he was kind of the father figure that I had in my life growing up. And that's kind of what he brought to the table to teach me how to be a young man and how to grow up to be an adult in society.
And then tell me how you came to camp. Was it through a church group? I don't know, you may have already mentioned this, but I'm basically trying to connect, like, what your grandfather was teaching you alongside with what maybe you learned at Kids Across America. Did they kind of reinforce one another?
Yes, sir. I came with Forest Missionary Baptist Church. The Reynolds, they have a son that graduated with me in high school, and we were best of friends, and we kind of grew up together. And they invited me. I had no idea what Kids Across America was. They just they invited me, can you come to KA? I said, sure. And I was excited at first. First year here, like I said, I met new people. And also when I got here, I never got in any trouble. Everything Kaleo told me to do, a counselor told me to do, I did it. And that's from from where I grew up from. I was always told to respect elders or respect your authority, which is what my granddad taught me. And that kind of came hand in hand. So when I got here, everything, you know, it was new, but at the same time, I kind of knew the routes and I knew what was right and I knew what was wrong. And after my first year, I came back. It was a continuous thing. I enjoyed it. I loved it. And it's just something that grew in me. And so I finally decided after taking a few years off that I wanted to come back and be a Kaleo. And I have a few of my players here this year with me as campers. I have about 6 or 7 guys that play for me on my basketball team. And I just wanted to show them that I'm more than just a mentor. I wanted to be a mentor to them, but also have that Christ-like with them as well, have the Christian walk with them. And that's kind of 2 birds in 1 stone. You know, I'm already someone they look up to, you know, in a professional way, far as from the community. And if I can connect that with spiritual, that'll be 2 birds in 1 stone, and it'll be another window opening for them, so they can come ask me questions now about, you know, about Jesus or God, any question they want to ask me rather than just about career or basketball. So that's what I'm trying to mold my guys into, so they get to a point where they can ask me any question, whether it's spiritual, physical, anything that I can answer it for them. So I have a few of them on this trip so they can get that experience as well and kind of do the same thing my granddad has done to me, molded me into the young man that I am. And so that's what I try to do with my players. Like I said, teach them discipline and character and build them up to be great young men in society.
Perfect. Man, that was going to be my next question, but you already answered it. That's kind of, you know, what your hopes are for your players. All right. Well, thank you very much.